mean, I know it kind of is in with regards to the Russians. The Russians, a lot of their mid-tier aircraft don't even get wet, or the Yaks at least, anyway. Because it's actually built into the throttle. Whether that's the same thing with the first Bearcat or not, I'm not so sure. Yeah, and I'm not going to find out from Gaijin, obviously, either. Let's see if it's any information on this one. No. And I honestly can't remember when these was put into game, so when they're actually going to find the information, I don't know. Sometimes this game, it really does make me chuckle. Well, a lot of the time. Too often. Yes. Well, anyway, that I'm actually tempted now to start actually taking this out just to check it out. Although I'm guessing it's going to be pretty shit. I'm not expecting great things from this aircraft, I have to say. It's not in my list of best aircraft that I must try out. But I will try it out. In fact, I think I might do that this evening. And I am going to export the qualification on it as well. Okay. Right, so, there we go. F-82. Twin Mustang, as it's also called. That's normal. Oh, what? That's interesting. That's really quite interesting. You see, what I know with this little game is that normally American 50 cals, they get a ball round. It does have M3s, but yeah, I'm pretty sure even M3s get a ball round. I can check that because there are M3s in game. Wow, they've changed. They're M2s now as well. I'm pretty sure the P-80 had M3s before when I've flown it. But yeah, these ones, M3s. Okay. So let's have a look. Unless they've changed it. They've changed it. Okay. Let's have a quick look and see. Okay. Right. I'm beginning to see a pattern now. Yes. That's a nice little stealth buff that Gaijin have given the Americans. Yep. Let's have a look. I don't... this will just be the same. Yeah. I'm almost 100% sure that these... yeah, they've not removed the practice rounds from that, because that would be too much logic, common sense, I suppose. I don't know. Brains. But yeah, basically, I'm pretty sure the M3s before all had ball rounds, and now they don't. As far as the M2s go, let's have a look. They don't. Really, they've dropped the ball rounds out of the... This is quite interesting. Yeah, see, the ball rounds are there. Okay. But they're not down here. That's P51, forget about it. Still gets practice rounds as well, but it's just brilliant. Yeah, ball round. Okay, so this really doesn't make any sense at all. Boring. And boring. Okay. So yeah, basically what they're suggesting then here is that one doesn't get boring. Why? That one doesn't either. So yeah, it's another stealth nerf from what I can tell, or stealth buff in certain respects. Basically what they've done is on certain aircraft, those that are that they feel or that they see as being underperforming, they've taken the ball rounds off them. So basically, all aircraft that had M3 50 cal or M3 branded machine guns, they've had their ball rounds removed, and only some of the aircraft, i.e. P-51s and P-47, have had their ball rounds removed from the default belts. So basically, what they're doing, rather than changing the bat rating too much or actually replacing the matchmaker, they're doing little stealth buffs and stealth nerfs like this in order to get it working. Well, not necessarily working, but in order to maybe alleviate some of the problems that players have been facing with the ball rounds, for example, or the particular lack of well, not lack of, but the inclusion of ball rounds in all M3s, for example, which I'm pretty sure was the case at one point, because I was using them. In fact, let me just check something. Probably the easiest way to check is this one. No, see, they've removed it from there as well. That used to have a ball round. Of that, I am like 100% sure. So yeah, basically what they've done is, for certain aircraft, particularly the Americans, they've, as well as decreasing the bat ratings, which was something that they did a while back, or increasing them in case of that Bearcat, they removed all of the ball rounds from the M3 machine guns default belts, and they removed the ball rounds from the P-51Ds, these two, and from the P-47s. Yeah, every other aircraft has got, that has M2s, apart from maybe this one. Let me just check. Yep, apart from the Bearcat as well, gets ball rounds in their default belt. So that's their basically their kind of secret way, or way of fixing things, I suppose, is they'll do little changes like that in order to tweak the performance of the aircraft. I think mainly, possibly, with regards to the battle rating and the way these aircraft are underperforming, is that maybe certain players aren't changing the belts when they're getting them. So, you know, they start off with the default belt and they keep it all the way through and then continue using it right at the end, even though they've unlocked the belts and they can change their ammunition. There may be players that do that, I honestly don't know. But if that is the case, then, you know, obviously there will be a drop in performance, because the ball round is, although it says it's an omni-purpose round, it has no extra qualities. It's not an incendiary round, it's not on piercing either. As it states, it's a ball round. The round is basically circular, or ball shaped even, and it's basically an anti-personnel round. It's not necessarily designed to destroy aircraft, which is what incendiary rounds normally are. Well, kind of used for, I suppose, but they are used for ground targets as well. But yeah, incendiaries, you'd expect them to do more damage against an aircraft because, you know, they're designed to set things on fire. So yeah, it's interesting way that they've decided to just throw that in there. I'm quite surprised that that they didn't announce it. Well, I suppose announce it, but then again, they wouldn't like to announce the way that they nerf aircraft anyway. That is one of them, the way that they put in crap ammunition like that on the majority of the aircraft. You know, like say P-63, Corsairs, Hellcat, Wildcat, Buffaloes, Lightning, Air Cobras, Kitty Hawk, Hawks, and etc, etc. Basically, all of these aircraft, apart from the P-47 and these ones down here, their stock ammunition gets a ball round, which is like a practice round. It's basically nothing, doesn't do anything really. And it's a way that Gaijin nerfed these aircraft down. It's also a way of getting people to try and spend money on the game as well. One thing that you won't really find, however, is ball rounds in the Russian ammunition. Well, at least you'll find very little as far as I'm aware. And yeah, there's no surprise there, I suppose, at the end of the day. Anyway.